Back in it immediately. Had a little break, ate a little burger, got my water. Just jangle it a little bit. Back to reading. I might had to mute for burp. Very professional. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Arrested crimes, blah blah blah. I love forging evidence. It's actually very fun, and we have a good time. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dart killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dart convicted so badly. That's why she used me. Super Liars number 9. The thrilling sequel. Super Liars Back to the Hood. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you. Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Well, I did, because I read the thing. Phoenix. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. Joe Dark? It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. Before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. What happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture into my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture? I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. Yeah, I bet he totally for sure didn't know. If I could have testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true. Even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. Come on. Stupid pop filter, get out of my face. There we go. Oh, it's all better. She became cold, like she is today. She must have not been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that the crime occurred? He's got onion head. Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14? That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor. Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices and the questioning room were right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, he was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective. I'd better have another talk with her. I don't know what it is about that voice, but it makes it. For some reason, I'm biting my tongue when I do it. Something about making the ooh-woo sounds just makes me like want to put my tongue up like at the roof of my mouth. But it doesn't, it's just weird. It's a weird voice. Let's go talk to Lana then. Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, then why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason... Ugh, sorry. Had to cough. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially that about that unusual change of jobs. I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Let's do it. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one, 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, if it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes. The Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. And there was only one bed. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked Emma up, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident? That's right. Quite a coincidence, hmm? I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Yeah, maybe we should, huh? I'm all itchy. Ooh, that's better. I had to pop my back and I was like, well, something's kinky in there. Something. Oh. Things seem kind of quiet around here today. You're right. The chief of detectives seems the same, though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right. We can come back here later. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, your back's got kinks in it. That's what it is. Don't try and pin this on me, mister. Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
Never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Hey, Sarah, Sarah. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy?
Must be his pet cactus.
Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor.
Oh shit, that was not the right voice.
Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go into the evidence room today, partner.
It's good. I also want. I'm just gonna do it. It's so good. I love eating the ice. It makes me strong.
But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why? Why'd you do it?
Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about it, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today.
I should have taken more allergy medicine when I went and ate my burger.
Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so.
What do you mean, fishy?
Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip?
That was Joe Dark's all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound and the victim sustained.
What does that mean?
It means there is a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased.
The facts have been concealed with forged evidence?
That case left behind scars on all of us.
The scars that the SL9 incident left behind.
I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he? Your brother?
He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day.
The highest honor?
King of prosecutors.
I knew it.
What do you look at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor.
Mr. Marshall must have been really close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that was the same day as...
That's right. It was a day of evidence transfer.
Interesting.
It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall, there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Apparently, someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty.
There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of.
Ugh, I'm coughing all over the place.
Miss Starr was fired and I was devoted and boxed away in a tiny room.
What about Detective Goodman?
If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful not to be too obvious.
They?
Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gann and Lena Skye. The investigation lead, Damon Gann, and his second in command, Lena Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case
ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right?
Yeah, Damon Gann, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective.
Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out.
Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago.
Ugh. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly enlightening.
There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gann. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today.
Wait, was he... Wait a minute. He just pulled the cap off. Is that meant to imply that he's been faking it this whole time? That he's been miming drinking out of that thing is like up until this point? What a dipshit. Oh, God.
Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina.
All right. Well, shoot.
Guess there's nothing else to do.
Who's down here? No one's here today. Not even Miss Starr.
Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are.
But we proved in court today that no one on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m.
Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case.
But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Nothing new in here, it looks like. Not gonna waste my time.
Mr. Edgeworth isn't here.
Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee? He took a real beating in court today.
Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago.
I guess we'll just have to come back later. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Where are we going? Yeah. Oh, good. He's telling us stuff. I thought this was just gonna be the same dialogue.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room.
Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us.
With the chief prosecutor saying what she did about the decision about what not mentioned in the trial, what chaos and Thanksgiving and Christmas put together.
Think festive is the word normally used for those?
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
It's usually connecting hallway to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, Wright, you can't go in there. It's off limits.
Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Oh, God. Oh, lordy, lordy. Oh, I didn't mention it earlier, but yeah, the shield is totally not broken in the picture there.
Nice organ music.
Whoa, where am I? Why is there freaking stained glass?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Yeah, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I never could remember where C was.
Bah. Oh, it's you two.
Chief Gant. Put that paper he was reading on its desk.
So, Righto, have you been swimming lately?
No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there?
Oh, there's a sword. It wasn't... I was wondering, like, it looked different.
That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
And that vase is in there, too. So, this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Yeah, I mean, there's the sword in the shield. and the shield, his sword is gone in the shield now.
Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm gonna lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Looks like we aren't welcome.
It seems that case isn't over with yet after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied a request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Hey! Oh, I can't go to see her anymore.
Hey, pal!
Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm, just taking a breather. My feet are...
From sitting so long?
Actually... I'm serving everyone coffee.
Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop.
Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No, why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court.
That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this...
Are there really so many people who hate him?
In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out to lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. Yeah, you're gonna take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir.
It seems you don't have any problems with enemies.
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier, when the coffee was brewing.
He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything?
The only evidence Doc left behind was during his final attack.
His final attack? You mean...
When he killed Prosecutor Marshall who was trying to protect some girl.
Me.
Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay?
His powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Maybe we should show us the murder weapon. Then maybe we should yawn into the microphone. Joe Doc was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman, a salaryman even.
A businessman? What made him take to serial killing?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. The kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then the dog came up and killed his. Dang, he's killing everybody. Okay. Well, thanks for skipping that dialogue for me, Gumshoe. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. Let's get that murder weapon out here, buddy. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it! Now I remember what the incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again!
Quickly, get your adverbs here. Father, son, and Lolly got your adverbs here. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well anyway. Take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet! Down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
Well, there you have it, in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant.
It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around, if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What, really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned.
Oh.
Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind.
I wonder too. I guess we just show him everything. Yeah.
About that jaw, I think I've seen it somewhere before.
Somewhere?
Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives.
This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met.
Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me.
Chief Gant?
Where could I have seen that before?
What? I'm showing you where you saw it before. God dang it.
I've been studying up on those files. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. I think people are accusing him of injustice. I, for one, ain't buying it, pal.
You're looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth?
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know? After all, a serial killer was on the loose.
Lana was pretty clear in her confession. She forged evidence in order to prove Joe Dark guilty. Detective, here's my attorney's badge.
You show this to me every time we meet, pal.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it! That's the King of Prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day.
Were you at the awards ceremony, Mr. Gumshoe? Detective Gumshoe? What the fuck am I saying?
I've gone insane. Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself.
Ah, congratulations.
I was wondering, why is the award a shield? And why is it broken?
Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later.
Apparently, he's forgotten. This guy almost made us lose the case today.
What are you talking about? He was guarding the blood stain on the evidence locker with his life. That's more than you could say about most officers nowadays.
It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well.
I have to admit he's right, though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we were able to prove another possibility today. The possibility that another murder took place at 5:15 p.m. Prior to 5:15 p.m.
No locker could be opened without a fingerprint, man.
Hey, wasn't your locker the one with the blood on it, Detective?
The handprint of the real murderer's gloved hand, without any fingerprints.
Shh. If they come to arrest me, you'll defend me, won't you?
If that happens, I think I'll do better pleading with Edgeworth. I think you'll do better pleading with Edgeworth.
I can't believe Officer Marshall would do something like that.
You know Officer Marshall?
Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus.
Really?
He said, Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles.
Note to self, Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus.
Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Yeah, I don't have a clue. I'm just gonna show you this shit until you let me in.
This ID card belongs to the victim, Detective Bruce Goodman. He can do just about anything these days with a card and a secret number. Scary.
Only scary because you keep dropping your card, Detective Gumshoe.
I forgot my secret number a lot too. I'm scared of myself. But I'm me after all. What could possibly be wrong with that?
I think I'll stay out of this conversation. Yeah, we already showed him this stuff. Whatever, look at all of it. Look at everything, you stupid dumbass. You stupid fuck idiot. No, you're gonna look at it. You're gonna look and then you're gonna look at it. Stupid dummy. Maybe we can show him something. Well, what if... Yeah, that's the photo. 16, blah, blah, blah. Oh, pop myself. Okay, this is, we already did this. Oh, shoot a monkey.
Hey, I just bought some of that stuff. Now I can go around detecting blood traces too.
Wow, is that a new type? I've never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height.
Base height? Hey, let me see that. Blooming tall, new and improved growth formula.
Mean this can't detect any blood traces?
Well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol.
So that's why the lady at the counter had that smoke on her face. That's the ID card record, isn't it?
Yes, there's only one number left to investigate. At 4:20 p.m., the victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number.
77777777.
That's 17 too many, Detective.
That's 17 too many.
Wait, 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus... No, that's... 1 in the study. 2 in the... 2 for the chandelier. 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. No, that's 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. One thing.
I love Clue. Clue's a great movie, if you don't know.
An executive officer. I just might have a hunch. Oh, come on, that wasn't enough?
Hey, that powder's used for detecting fingerprints.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth gave it to us.
He did what? All I have is some flour.
Are you okay, Detective?
Quick, run! If it's any help, one time I took a nap on a bench with wet paint.
Why am I not comforted?
Let me share a little advice. Suck my dick. Why don't you suck my dick about it, you stupid motherfucker? Oh, a lost item report, huh?
Very impressive, Detective. You knew what it was right off the bat.
Well, I am a master of misplacement, you know.
Master, that has such a cool ring to it.
The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. There's a higher power at work here.
Wow, a higher power.
Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. Ah, there's nothing to show him. They lied to me, pal. He hates it. He hates all of it. I'm just mad now. Gosh dang it. Shoo. Nothing. Let's try giving her some stuff, huh? Attorneys and prosecutors have no business showing evidence outside court. What? Yeah, she just doesn't want to see anything. Gosh dang it, woman. You're not helping. Anything in here? Hey, T, how's it going? We're looking for something to show Gumshoe so that it'll let us into the to the chief's room. But I don't have anything. They said maybe we can show him something, and I showed him literally everything I have, and he just went he farted in my fucking face about it. And so now I'm a little stuck. Maybe Edgeworth's back? I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. Oh, okay, good. We still got stuff to do. So I'm good. I just had to check every place again.
There he is. It looks like he's writing something.
What are you doing here? Nisha was quick to throw that paper on the floor.
Tough day in court, huh? Ugh. I've had to live with the past few years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken back when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes?
The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design.
A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on.
Oh, hey, thank you for the follow.
I guess.
Ruptured tides. Very cool.
There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. Let me just see if I can't. Well, maybe it'll update on its own time. Just had to make sure. And that's what it all breaks down to. And nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust.
If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error.
My responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why? Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial and now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists. That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time.
Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
That picture, something seemed strange about it.
Yeah, that was the clue. I figured I needed to show it to him anyway, so I jumped the gun a little bit on that one.
Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? Well, I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out to the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning and drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back?
This.
Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. And that's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Ah, sure. Everybody knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? You know, for Emma's sake. Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. Well, if that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. Yeah. I knew it, cause Gant stabbed him somehow with that. I don't know how, but somehow. All right. Excuse me? Oh, Lord. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star. I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it. We're gonna move on. We're just gonna move on. Everyone in this trial was involved with the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't be all attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with the knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Ah, nice! Burger secured. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Sky.
My sister.
The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret.
But you don't have proof anything illegal was done.
I'm proof enough. What happened? After that case, all of us, save Goodman, were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Nothing's quite as simple as it appears.
Huh?
Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana second in command. They were the best.
They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost surreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean? Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. Lana, I can't decide how I want to say it, because I'm stupid dumb. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really?
Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake.
Mr. Marshall.
When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's why it makes it all the more infuriating.
Miss Starr.
That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence.
Chief.
That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean, except the prosecutor's office. Oh, I missed a word. I need to scoot closer. My mic's blocking me. And that's why Lana was transferred. If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know. But one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude that there must have been a reason for her change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. I think I've shown her, like, everything. Okay. Talk about cheap. I'm just gonna make sure. Yeah, she just doesn't care.
Okay, just making sure. Just wanted to check and see if she has anything to say to me. Something that might be helpful.
Maybe. Maybe. I can talk to Gumshoe? Oh, you're back! Oh, you're back.
You're still here?
I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ.
You're a DJ as well?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey.
Oh, that DJ.
I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. Not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line.
That office is the last scene of the SL9 in the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there.
There's gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind.
Well, I literally only have one new piece of evidence. Hey, that's it. That's the King of Prosecutors Award. Whoa!
Say, this design's based on an old Chinese parable, right?
Yeah, everyone knows that. There was this, dragon. Yeah, that's it, a dragon. He had a thing for shields, see?
That's not exactly the version we heard.
No, but this one sounds more exciting.
Anyway, it gets kind of gory after that. I'll, spare you the details.
Well, that didn't change his answer at all. Gosh dang it. You big stupid jerk. You sure you don't care about this? Well, it looks like we're back in the same freaking position we were before. What last? Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to press that. What, the last evidence thing? Oh, that was, I already gave it to him, but that's the autopsy report for Neil, yeah. It's okay. Yeah, we got Neil's autopsy report. And that's what's in there. The tip of this murder knife from Joe Dark was apparently found in his body, despite the knife not matching the wound. But yeah, I don't know what else to give him, because I've literally given him everything on the list now. Unless I have to go find something else. Oh, does Edgeworth have more? Oh, god dang it, Edgeworth. Do I have to look around? Oh yeah, the paper. God, I'm stupid. Oh, you're so right.
Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look.
Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there.
Just distract him. I'll check it out.
Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on, first let me see what that girl's doing crawling around at my feet. He didn't even look.
What? Letter of
If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? But I feel as if something inside me has died.
But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. The path I've walked hasn't been a just one. And I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's being serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Oh, thank goodness. Can I talk? Nah, I kind of wanted to talk to him about it. But yeah, that was the missing piece. Thanks, Tiara. I totally forgot about, and they even called attention to it. Yeah, he's serious. Oh, it does. Yeah, I didn't even look. I was too focused on giving that shit to our boy here. He's serious.
What's this crumbled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth, he can't be serious!
Is he ever not serious?
I can't believe they pushed him this far.
Crushed, his smile and optimism gone.
Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible.
When I first met him, I thought he was cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. We betrayed him, man.
Detective.
That's it. I've made up my mind.
But
Here, take my ID card.
We can't do that. If someone found out,
they wouldn't let you off the hook without another lost item report.
Look at me. There's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated.
what?
Well, at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake.
All right, detective. Thank you.
Ooh. All right.
Look at him. Look at him there. He isn't very photogenic, is he? Whatever you do, just don't say that to his face.
Look, his eyes are half shut.
Yeah, and his mouth is half open.
Hey, each of his shirt buttons is off a notch. He's got the
Narrow end of his tie in front. I think this goes beyond being a photogenic issue. Yeah, I don't know why it's pixelated. Like, I don't know. It's just bad porting stuff. It's just stupid. All right, Chief. We're going in.
Here goes, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, you can tell it says gumshoe and whatnot. It's just still stupid.
We're in. If anyone finds us now,
Detective Gumshoe is a goner.
If that happens, I'm counting on you two to bail me out. Yeah!
sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost.
Ah, Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that?
I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too.
If you're here, then what's the point of giving us your ID card? Crushed and rendered unusable in pocket.
Hey, don't do that to my card. I hardly ever get the chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nick. Now we can't use it later. Just snap it in half. I'm sick of Gumshoe's bullshit, I guess.
Besides, we're all in this together now.
You really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out.
I've got a bad feeling about this. I watched Star Wars feeling about this. This is a safe, isn't it?
Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue.
Okay, if you say so. Don't go Kojima on me. Don't go Kojima on me.
It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it.
A 7-digit number. I think I might just know what it is.
Do you know what it is?
I have a hunch.
Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date. It's...
No. Don't. I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Wait. Oh, I wanted to put fingerprints. I mean, I'm gonna try 7777777, but I feel like I shouldn't have examined this first because it's gonna end up being the thing that's important, and then I won't get to examine the rest of the room. Oh, there, it finally freaking updated. Thank you, Streamlabs. Whatever. Big freaking surprise. It's just, yeah.
Bing!
Bingo.
What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was that, pal?
7777777. The final ID card number on that record.
What?
The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day.
You mean 7777777? That ID number?
I think you're 1-7 shy this time. This can only mean that's Chief Gant's ID number.
Say, anyone care to look inside?
Okay, good. Well, not yet I don't. I need to look at literally everything else first, before it kicks me out for doing that.
Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk.
Speaking of that, when we were here earlier. Yeah, Von Karma's were also all ones, I bet. I bet if Von Karma had a if Von Karma had a safe like this, that would have been it.
Ah, it's you two.
Yeah, he put the paper he was reading in there. I wonder what he was reading.
This looks like a list of evidence.
A list of evidence?
In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though.
That's what Edgeworth said.
Hey, look at the case name.
SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here.
Hold on, detective. What did you just say?
I said I wonder what...
No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long.
That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
A half-size list of evidence. Yeah. Yeah, Edgeworth said that too. Come on. Normally the list runs twice as ass, bitch. Fuck. What would the other half of the list be doing here? Oh! Oh! It's the other half! It would appear so. I didn't parse that at first. I just thought it was the same, like it was the copy of the list. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons?
Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations.
First the pipe organ, now this armor. You know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room?
What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes.
You don't have any taxes to pay.
Shh. Be careful what you say. Who knows?
The chief might be hiding in this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there.
Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out.
Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be.
Let's look at Orgon.
The chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the criminal affairs department.
That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building.
When the detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours.
What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul.
After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears.
So it's an instrument of punishment. Literally. Ah. Managed to avoid drowning.
It's just so fun. It's just so fun to do.
But aren't the chief's ears affected?
He never listens to anyone anyways.
That's beside the point.
And this is... what's-her-face's old office, I guess. Shoot a monkey.
These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf.
Hey! This was when Lana and I went to that theme park.
Damn. That's pretty cold.
Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside.
This is the 15th floor.
I know, I was just saying.
Saying what?
Ever since making detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that.
Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's very RE4 sort of style, like, let's party!
That kind of thing. I see where Gumshoe's coming from on this. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired.
Don't say that! This was taken on that day 2 years ago.
The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma.
After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gant to question Dork. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later.
Gee, you think?
The files are in the computer.
This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy.
Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner.
There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here?
No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff of legends are made of.
Does he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime?
Da-da-da-da.
Alright, I think we got everything.
I got the desk.
Can I get this phone? No. That's just another. Oh, it's a different window.
You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit of armor from here.
At first, the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window.
Really? Why didn't he?
I don't know, I already clicked it though, and we found the evidence in there. Sometimes this does that, like when something gives you a piece of evidence, it doesn't check it off. Maybe because checking it after you get the evidence technically provides a different instance. But I'm not doing it again, because this has already happened before. They say it changed its mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. I mean, there's still clearly stained glass on there, though.
Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. It's stained glass! Look at it! Look at the stained glass! Stupid.
Is there any money in there? How much did he have stashed away?
Look, it's
A shard from a broken cup.
This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before?
there's something else in here too.
What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth.
This is a handprint, isn't it?
Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, look at them. It's colored glass, and it's in shards. That's what stained glass is. It's not everywhere on the windows, though. I guess it's not in the middle parts. It has colors you just can't see. I got my face right up here, and there's little pixels. There's yellow and purple and red and green and blue. You don't know what you're talking about, lady. I bet it's compressing it so that you can't see it. I bet that's part of the problem, is there's big chunky squares. Oh, well, it was just a thought.
Is that it? This is all that was in the safe?
Apparently so. It's empty now.
A piece of cloth with a handprint on it, and a broken shard from a cup.
They look like pieces of evidence.
Yeah, but unless you can prove that they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here, pal.
Great, now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident?
Come on. There's gotta be something we can show the detective. The detective. Whoa. Whoa.
Very cool. Thank you, Brain. I love when Brain. How do I add the part? I want to stick it on there. Oh, I can't yet because I have to talk to... Hey, take a look at this. Take a look at this. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar?
I remember when the three of us put that back together. Those were the days.
What do you think of it? Take a look at this. It's kind of early to be nostalgic.
Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case?
That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it.
Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found?
You mean this one that was in the safe?
Yes, that one. That was in the safe.
Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits.
Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this.
Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue.
If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. There's still another part then, huh? No, I guess that's it. Oh, there's a broken part. I was like, there's still a broken thing. Nah, it's just this. There. It fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident.
But...
Hey guys, get a load of this!
What is it?
This piece you just attached. It's different from the others.
Yeah?
there's a reddish line on it.
A reddish line. That's blood.
It's blood! What's that smell? It's blood!
I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
Unstable jar updated in the court record. And now I have to prove to him that handprint. No, that's not the right thing. Yeah, we already talked about that. Now look at this. Don't be so negative. I do want you to share your information.
Oh, who am I fooling? Never had anything useful to share with to begin with.
Yeah. He just doesn't want to tell me. So, Yeah, you missed it. I had a big burger. We listened to Johnny Cash while I ate the burger. My parents brought Sonic back because they went to the pumpkin patch with my baby sister. Get with the times, pal. Get it together. Come on. I didn't see it, so it's not real. How do I prove? Talk. You know what? Let's talk to him. I hadn't talked to him yet. That desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's?
Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now?
No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene.
That's a strange reason to leave it there.
He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us always to be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time.
I see.
So, ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk?
No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning.
Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it?
Why do you ask?
You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be... No. Oh, no, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more.
Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy.
What is it?
When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that.
Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Starting? Okay, so what's bothering you?
You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you?
What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him?
Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings. Yet.
There you go, ignoring me again.
No, I already talked. So I need to present him something that proves that cloth, that orange cloth. Let's try the fingerprints. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this.
Hey, I know what that is. So you want me to take some fingerprints?
That's a great idea, Detective.
All right, go to town. Sheesh.
What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that?
Go ahead, take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe.
Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor?
Gosh.
Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints.
Yeah, sprinkle, 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 sprinkle.
Going nuts, going nuts. Get all of the stuff. Going nuts.
Oh, it's all smudgy. I gave it my best shot.
That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it?
It doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print.
Okay, let's try a different finger then.
Even though thumbs are like the least reliable ones, at least in prints like this when it's your fucking hand. Because I mean, it's all turned the wrong way.
Whoa!
and gave it my best shot. Yeah. I mean, at least that was closer. What? Just jam the frickin' enter button. Do it. Tap the screen with your stylus, idiot. Hey! Yeah, see, even that wasn't good enough. It still doesn't think it likes it. There, now you have to like it. Blow on the screen. Well. Hey. It was that. What's up with that? Match found. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here?
Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they?
Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints.
Psst. Hey, yo, over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Yeah, maybe you should hold on to this. Nice. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it weren't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Yeah! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. I was walking to my meeting. I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Ah, I'm back. Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now, get out. Yes, sir. Oh, well. Guess it's fine. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet.
Me, sir?
I'd like a word with you.
But, sir, I'm not licensed in scientific investigation.
You with the spiky hair. You're free to go.
Mr. Wright?
Yeah, how about not? How about we don't do that?
Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you?
I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired.
Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it.
Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time?
Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try and smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal.
Well, you just left her.
No! What? Nick, you are irresponsible. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. but I've already told you all I can.
What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really, I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words.
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth?
Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe.
Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual.
What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. So you think I'm protecting this person?
Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of.
Well, Miss Sky,
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective.
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes?
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence.
Of course, these are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned?
Chief Gant?
Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was...
me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant.
If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case.
Want proof of the Chief's wrongdoings? Here it is.
That evidence proves someone is doing something wrong, all right, but it's not the Chief.
Who would that be?
Why, you, of course.
Me?
Yes, you seriously believe what you're saying, don't you? Now that's scary. You seem to have the makings of a criminal in you, with all your fallacious accusations. Care to spend a night in the cell next to mine?
If you ask me, you're the scary one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now ask me again, idiot. Not my badge. Where's the... Yeah!
I just found this in a safe in the Chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. You know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty of murder.
Why not?
Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
In the murder of Detective Goodman?
Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day.
I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car.
Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. Trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon. Murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this knife was stuck in it. A knife from the SL9 incident. The serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. Dark case, blah blah blah. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister. Tell her what happened, and ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. How embarrassing. I'm afraid that is all I can tell you. But Lana! You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. dun dun dun. Well, that's gonna wrap it for today, folks. This was a hefty extra stream. And I'm glad I was able to do it to make up for not getting things done on Friday. So, thank y'all all for coming out.